Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. I have the honor to interview the founders of Agapè Catholic Ministries, Christian and Christine Meert. And with that being said, I'm going to jump right into our interview questions. So Christian and Christine, how did the idea for Agapè Catholic Ministries come about, and what's inspired you to start this ministry?
Well, we arrived in Denver in 1999 and met with Archbishop Chaput, who asked us if we wanted to do something for families. So we suggested we could start a marriage preparation program because we were inspired by a French theologian, Georgette Blaquière, whom we had worked with, and she was also a special advisor to Pope John Paul II. She was writing a book called Dare, Live, Love that opened our eyes on marriage in a beautiful, beautiful way. So we wanted to share it. And her book was going along the lines of St. John Paul II's theology of the body. So that was amazing. That's what inspired us to start.
What were the initial challenges you faced when establishing Agapè Catholic Ministries?
Well, I don't think we had real challenges because the fact that we have been using St. John Paul II theology of the body as a template for the marriage prep program, and we just included the teaching of the church for the content, and it was all there. The book Christine talked about Georgette Blaquière was very much in line with theology of the body. And at first we didn't plan to start a ministry. We just wanted to share what we had learned with engaged couples because that was so awesome, okay? And the idea of a ministry just came little by little and later on, really.
Great. Okay. So were there any significant milestones or moments that stand out in the early days of the ministry?
We had a good friend who was a teacher for teachers. So we asked him if he could help us. So he sat at all 4 evenings of our in-person course that we were giving at that time. And he took plenty of notes. He was writing all the time. And then he sorted everything out. He invited us to be with him, and he helped us make the course a lot better by learning to put ourselves in the shoes of the engaged couples, and by implementing the heuristic method that we didn't know about instead of a lecture-type teaching. We were doing the lecture-type teaching. He showed us how to really make it more interesting for the couples with the heuristic method.
Yeah.
So we would ask a question and give all the necessary resources or background for the couples to help them think for themselves about the question, what they were thinking, what they knew, what they were thinking, and what they would say, instead of just giving them a lecture and questions on the lecture. So, and we can compare this pedagogy to Jesus' method, like Christian said in Matthew 16, 13, 20.
Yes. It's, well, first thing, before that, the fact that we are talking to the couples and we want to know what they think, what they do, what's inside them, makes it very, very interesting because every time it's a new story, of course, because each individual couple is individual,
unique,
okay? So going back to Matthew 16, it's when Peter declares, Jesus, you're the Messiah. So it starts exactly, I will read it, okay? When Jesus came to the region of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, who do people say the Son of Man is? And they replied, some say John the Baptist, others say Elijah, and still others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets. So it's like in a catechism class. The disciples answer what they learned, and that's okay. We don't expect the engaged couple to know everything, so first we give them, like Christine said, we give them what they have to know from the scriptures, the Bible, the teaching of the church. Then Jesus, come back, and he said to them, "But who do you say that I am?" And now it becomes personal. The disciples, they have to find their own answer, personal answer. So they have to go deep inside them, find these answers, and then they have to share and tell what's in it. Okay? Before we engage couples, they have to realize who they are, what they believe in, what they think, where they stand, and they have to share with each other all this. So marriage prep is the right time to stop, because when do we stop to ask these kind of questions? So the engaged couples, they can really think about it, go into the deep questions, then they share their answer where they stand in their own lives, and it's a window for conversion. Yeah, really, this is it.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, Christian and Christine. For my next question, how do you engage with the local Catholic community and beyond?
Okay, so at the beginning they were just
the
two of us. Okay, we thought we made this marriage prep. We adapt it with this heuristic method and make it more interactive, more interesting, and everything. And then we started to teach that class at our parish where we were in Denver, then to more parishes, and then by the word of mouth, it expanded from one parish to the next. Then we moved to the Diocese of Colorado Springs, where Bishop Sheridan at that time asked us to reopen the Office of Marriage and Family Life. So at that time, then, of course, we had to be involved with every parish, all the clergy, every priest and deacon in the Diocese of Colorado Springs. And that's how it expanded. And we have been in charge, for 16 years. And now, with the expansion of the online and everything, we are in contact with, we can say thousands of parishes and thousands of clergy all around the world, really.
We also attended a lot of conferences.
Oh, yes.
So people got to know us little by little, and we were going to these conferences year after year. So that's how we got to engage with the Catholic community and beyond.
Yeah, and yes, that's the way it started.
That's amazing. Wonderful. So how has the ministry adapted to changes or unexpected obstacles?
The very first unexpected change happened when the Archdiocese of Denver asked us to take care of engaged couples who lived in the Rockies and couldn't attend a class in person because there was nothing where they lived. So they knew our program was interactive, so they said, well, can't you do something for them? Yeah, sure. So what? So we started the very first couple. I think they were in Fruta. Fruta, is that a town?
Yeah.
Close to.
Yeah, on the West Slope.
Yeah. And so we told them we're going to do it together, but as emails. So we were sending them an email, and they sent us their answers.
Correspondence class.
By online correspondence class.
That's
it. So, and we thought, well, we'll see what happens. But we were so surprised and happily surprised because they really, really shared a lot, and we could tell they had deep conversations together about the questions, and they were telling us what they were thinking, and it was so personal, and so it was amazing, and we were really flabbergasted, right?
Yeah. Well, the fact that also it's not like a question and answer or multiple answer choice question makes it very personal. Like I said previously, is that then we have this personal dialogue with one couple, and that is nothing compared to the previous one or the next one. It's really unique. So we can yeah, we can have this very, very deep personal conversation, and at the same time, there is no judgment. There is no, they don't have to pretend that they are better, they know more things because they are talking to the pastor or to whoever, you know. They don't feel judged at all. There's no this barrier that we have when we talk to people face to face. And they had so much time to think, to discuss everything. They could take, work on one question for hours and come back to it the day after if they wanted. So it was really
eye-opening.
Eye-opening. And we were, flabbergasted is the right
flabbergasted,
word. Yes.
And they could ask us all the questions they had too. So that was nice.
Yeah, and they were very personal questions that had nothing to do with marriage prep also. But they had this question, they didn't feel like they have the right to ask a question to their pastor because maybe we are not, 100% parishioners also. And there is also this kind of, we are kind of shy.
With a priest, yeah.
With a priest. But with us, oh my goodness, we have no barrier
it was
at
awesome.
all. So
we loved it.
It's great, yeah.
So that's how it started.
That's incredible. I love that. So what do you envision for the future of Agapè Catholic Ministries?
Well, Spencer or?
For the future? Well, we certainly want to keep it one-on-one. We want to keep it interactive, personal. Mm-hmm. We want to work. We really want to work with couples one-on-one because it makes the whole difference. I mean, each couple, as we were saying, is unique, and they all have their own situation or own life. I mean, and they have their own questions, and we need to be able to answer as much as possible to each couple. So we want to keep this for sure. And same thing with the quinceañeras and with the baptismal prep. We want to be able to help people in that way. We have also been asked by the church to do a confirmation program, but we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Coming.
They asked us, the church asked us to do baptismal prep for the same reason that one pastor told us, well, I received the parents, I know the parents, but sometimes the godparents, for example, I don't know where they are getting their preparation. I would like them. I love your marriage prep program because the couple, they can talk together. Why don't you make something so the parents and the godparents, they can talk together and they can be prepared together and talk about the sacrament instead of speaking only about the gift for the child or things like this. And so we did it. Yep. It took us 2 years. Two good years.
Yeah, same for Kinsey, but
and Kinsey, same thing.
But I think for the future of Agapè, we want to expand to more sacramental preparations for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So for the future, are there any upcoming projects that you're excited about?
Well, yes. We were talking about this confirmation program. We have been asked again and again to do a confirmation program. But to do just a confirmation like a catechism class, it's easy, really. But to do it in a way that there is this interaction, that there is this opening up of the future confirmandees is very interesting because we have been asked first to do it for teenagers, young teenagers, 12, 13, 14 years old, and then for younger one. Because in some dioceses, our diocese, they do the confirmation at 7 at the same time than the first Eucharist. But then if family move into that archdiocese, for example, or diocese, and they have teenagers that are 12, 13, 14, then they are in the category of the 7 years old. And also a lot of couples who want to become godfather or godmother, they have to be confirmed. So we have been asked to do something. We started with teenagers, and then we have been asked to work with younger children, and now with adult children. So it's not the same thing. It's not the same. But it's working. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, but to come back to the previous question about the future of Agapè, it's also, we haven't said that, but it's very important for us. We do not do something that we want to do.
Yes.
We want to be asked by the church. We want it to come from the Lord. He's our boss. He's the big boss, and we want to do His will as much as we can understand it. And so we do not, every time we tried to do something on our own, it didn't work. So we wait for the church to ask us to do something, and we try our best to do it.
That will be the confirmation that we are on the right path, because we have been asked to do it. Like even quinceañeras, for example, it's a priest. He wanted to use our marriage prep for quinceañeras. And we said, no, we cannot do it. And then it took us years.
We adapted it,
It took us years.
But this is why the future is hard to project, because it's the Lord.
We have to expect.
That's great. That's awesome. So one last question. Can you share stories or testimonies that highlight the positive impact Agapè Catholic Ministry has had on individuals or the community?
We have so many.
So many. Yeah, we've had couples where one wasn't Catholic and decided to become Catholic after the course, and we've got tons of. This lady who contacted us several years later, how many years later?
After their wedding?
Yeah, after their wedding, she had 5 kids.
Yes.
They had 5 kids, and they were saying how much it impacted their life, and how they kept the teachings to teach their kids, but there is this older couple that you had.
This lady, in fact, she found us via Facebook. Via our personal Facebook, to tell us how happy she was and how they were, they were raising their children in a Catholic faith, and they wanted that she said something like Catholic homeschooling. That's what we are doing, Catholic homeschooling. It was very nice.
Yeah.
And this old couple, they had been married, civilly married, for 40 years, and they wanted to gather the whole family to celebrate 40 years. It's a kind of a pretty nice celebration. And they wanted to gather the whole family, children, grandchildren, all together. And then they thought, well, maybe we could ask the priest to give us a blessing. So they went to see the priest and asked for a blessing. And the priest said, well, I'm not going to give you a blessing. You are going to exchange the sacrament of matrimony. And he explained he did a very great job, because they finally agreed. They were kind of upset because they wanted just a blessing. And the priest told them, and you have to go through marriage prep. You have to follow a class. And they said, well, we can teach marriage prep. We've been married 40 years. So they registered, and we worked with them as a couple. And it was interesting because they were not very enthusiastic in the first sessions. They were kind of, okay, we have to do it, we'll do it.
And they open up. They had to realize from the priest that their marriage, civil marriage, since they were both Catholic, wasn't valid in the church. Yeah. So that was a tough one to take.
Yeah, because we have been parishioners, so Yeah. Anyway, so little by little they opened up. And we could see the changes session after session, even if we don't speak, with words.
In person,
but it's in writing, and so they have time to discuss, to exchange, to talk more, to write down, to realize what they've been writing and everything. It's pretty nice. And at the end, they were very happy they did it, and they asked the questions. well, first thing they say, wow, we had conversation during this marriage bed that we never had in our 40 years of marriage. That's the first one. And then they say, where can we keep having this conversation? Do you have a group of couples who we could participate in? So that was, I think, yeah, it's a conversion. It's a conversion.
Amazing. Well, Christian and Christine, thank you so much for taking the time today to answer these interview questions. Agapè Catholic Ministries is indeed an incredible, beautiful ministry and has truly impacted so many beautiful souls. So I really appreciate your time today, and I thank you for all that you do.
Well, thank
you
you
so
much.
much.
Have a great day now.
Bye, everyone.
God bless you.
Bye.